Hey everybody. Hey, I wanted to give you a bonus day 0 video. This video is not an actual workout. This video is to help you know how to modify push-ups, planks, and burpees, and then any variation of those. A lot of exercises we do are actually a variation of a plank, like the mountain climber or the knee jiver. And we do lots of push-ups in here, lots of burpees. Please, please do not let that scare you. Don't let it scare you. Even if you're like, I can't even do one push-up from my knees, that's okay. That's what this video is for, because you have options. There are other ways to build up those muscles and strengthen them, even if you cannot do one full push-up correctly or a burpee. There's ways to modify every single thing. So since we do a lot of those, I wanted to go ahead and do this extra video so that you can watch it now, and I will refresh your memory in the demo videos on how to modify these moves, but you've already seen this full version of how to modify these things since we do so many of them. So and in case you're new here to Farm Girl Fit, this is my living room. It's a work in progress. We are building our own home. So there's a pile of lumber in the back. It's also hunting season. I can see a bow in the background. So we have boys. My husband hunts, my boys hunt. I've got 3 kids. They may be going up and down the stairs. They're doing homework right now. This is right in the middle of my real life, you guys. It's not perfect. I don't set it up. It's not, I do try and tell everyone to be quiet, please, while I'm filming, but it's far from perfect and right smack in the middle of our life. So, okay, so let's go ahead and start with the push-up, okay? I've got my mat here. I have a chair because the number one way to modify anything that's a push-up, because a push-up is actually also a plank, believe it or not. It's a moving plank. But it's a way to modify push-ups, planks, and even burpees. You can do it from your knees, but also elevating it on a surface. So we're going to use a chair. The lower you are to the ground, the more challenging it will be against gravity. The higher up you are, all the way to doing your push-up against a wall, the easier it gets, okay? So I want you to be smart and choose a version that is right for you. But if you want to see your body change, you have to challenge yourself, okay? I want you to start to be able to get through the workouts as best as you can, but then I'm going to be coaching you and telling you, okay, it's time to try and progress this a little bit, okay? Okay, so let's start. Well, you know what? I said we're going to start with the push-up. We're going to start with the plank because a push-up is a plank that's moving. So let's start with the basic plank. We have a high plank and a low plank. The high plank is up on your hands, on your wrists. Couple of things. We want to make sure that our wrists are directly under our shoulders. So we're not too far in front. They're not too far under us. That would be hard on your wrists. And we also want to make sure that our core is nice and tight. We're not doing a TP, okay? We're not letting our low back sink like that either. We're holding our core nice and tight here, pulling your belly button up to your spine the whole time. So this is a high plank. A low plank is done from the elbows. My elbow here, quick check, is right under my shoulder, okay? I think the hair is going to have to go in a pony here. So here's the low plank position, same thing. We're not doing a TP. We're not letting it sink. You got to keep that core in tight. And for a lot of us, a plain, regular plank is challenging, and that's okay if that is where you are. But this is that position. Now, you can elevate that. You can do a plank elevated from a chair. So it's going to be right here. But again, make sure we're not pushed out here. We're not pushed way back from the chair. My wrists are lined up under my shoulders right here. You could also do that from your elbows. Maybe it hurts a little more on a hard surface right here, but again, I'm not pulling up like this. I'm not letting anything sink. Holding the core nice and tight, just like so, okay? So that's how you modify a plank from elbow or wrist. High plank, low plank. And then we do lots of moves that are a plank variation. We do mountain climbers, which are, looks like this. Okay, slow motion, you're stepping it or running it. Well, you can modify that from the chair in an elevated position. So I want you to keep these things in mind as we go through this challenge, that these are common ways to modify, okay? All right, most people should be able to do a plank elevated or on their toes. Now, you can also go down to your knees. You can do a plank from your knees, which is shortening the plank, shortening the length of your angle there. Not the angle, you're shortening the length of our line. And right here, my wrists are still under my shoulders, just like that. Or you can do it here, just like that. Now, I would rather you do it from the chair because you're elongating your body to its normal height. And I'd rather you do it that way, but if you need to start on your knees, that is totally fine, especially with push-ups, if you need to go to your knees and do those push-ups. So 3 options: floor, elevated, or floor from your knees. Okay, let's talk about the push-up now. Let's move up into the push-up. And by the way, I have a video on my Farm Girl Fit Facebook page. I need to actually get it over to our website, but it tells you all the exercises you can do to work on building up strength to do a push-up. So that's a whole separate video. It's on my Facebook Farm Girl Fit page. You can check that out as well. Let's talk about the regular push-up here. So when we do our push-ups, okay, you guys know push-up from your toes is here. Now think about a plank as you're doing a push-up, because it is a moving plank. So our push-up does not look like this. Nope. It doesn't look like this. Okay, it is a plank going down to the ground and pushing back up. All right, so we can modify first by going to your knees, okay? And I know there's some of you, I know, you're like, I can't even do one push-up from my knees, and that's okay. I actually have a couple of girls in here that started my very first challenge with me that way, and now they've got some push-ups going on their knees from not being able to do any. So we'll work on it. So right here, again, keep in mind, you're on your knees. My plank is moving all the way to the ground in one line and pushing back up. So you can also do those push-ups with your legs extended behind you, wrists under my shoulders. You can do push-ups elevated, just like that, okay? All right, so that is the push-up, and then one more modification or regression. So you're like, okay, I can't even do one. What do I do? From your knees, if you can't do one, or you can do it on the chair there, we're gonna do what's called an eccentric push-up. Eccentric is the negative action of the muscle. So when we're doing a push-up, this is not the actual work. I mean, your muscles are working, but this is the negative part of the motion. The push up, activating the chest, tricep, shoulder area, and your core is when we push up, and that's called the concentric motion. We're gonna do the eccentric motion, okay? And if you have an isometric hold, that's where the muscle is neither lengthening nor shortening. So we're holding that position. So an eccentric push-up, I'm going to do it from my knees, because if you can't do it from your knees, this is what you're doing, eccentric. You're going to start with your wrists under your shoulders. We're going to slowly lower. 1, 2, 3, and then you might even crash, okay? Your muscles just give out altogether and you crash. That's okay, all right? It's not a failure. This is where you are, and we're going to progress from that point. Then I just want you to just push back up however you can and start again. 1, 2, 3, do a little crash. You can lift your arms here and do a squeeze because that activates your back muscles, and then push back up however you can. Even if it's not correct, I want you just to get back up to the starting position. We're gonna work that eccentric action. And if we're doing like 10 push-ups, you're gonna really only do 5 to 8 of those eccentric push-ups because it takes longer, okay? And trust me, you're gonna be feeling it, your arms are gonna be shaking just the same. We're working on building up that strength. Okay, one more little tip on push-ups, you guys. So sometimes we change our grip on the floor with push-ups, but just a regular stance push-up, I'm gonna show you here facing you. My hands are just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, okay? They can go a little wider here. But my elbows in a push-up, they go at a 45-degree angle from my sides, okay? Down to the floor and back up. Now, we're not gonna do this, okay? Make sure your hands aren't pointed inward. You're not going out like that. That's a common mistake. No, bring it in. Now, I want you to think about screwing your hands into the floor, but they're not actually moving, and that activates your lat muscles as we move down. Keep in mind, it's a plank. It's a moving plank is what a push-up is, and up. Sometimes we'll do a narrow grip push-up where your hands are in close. That activates more of the tricep muscle. But again, we don't let our elbows flare out. They're gonna stay close to the body, just like this, as you go down and up. And it's the same thing, whether you're doing it from your knees or on the chair, okay? So check your angle. If I'm right here lined up, I've got an angle here with my body, and you can make an imaginary right angle. Your elbow's gonna go about 45 degrees out from that, okay? That's a regular push-up and back up. Okay, so push-ups, that's push-ups, those are planks. Let's talk about the burpee. We do a lot of burpees. Don't be afraid of that word either. It's not a bad word. They're so good for you, seriously, whether you modify them, however you get them done. Okay, I will show you just a regular full burpee. Sometimes we'll do the burpee without the push-up. Sometimes we'll do parts of burpees and combine it with other exercises. But a full burpee from the side looks like this. I always start with the jump up just because it's my little mental signal to, hey, get up, Jen, time to get up. So up, you jump out, you go down to a push-up, jump in, and up. That is a regular burpee. I would probably say that more than half of the people in my challenges don't do a regular burpee, and that's okay because that's where you are. We're progressing toward that. So don't feel like, oh, I can't do a burpee. I'm not cut out for this challenge. No, that's not right. You have to start. You have to have a starting place. And I'm gonna back you all the way up so you can start where it's appropriate for you. Okay, first thing you can do to modify that burpee is take out the push-up, all right? So we're gonna do a little jump, jump out, jump in, and back up, okay? Second thing you can do to modify the burpee is take the jump out, okay? So we're gonna we can even do a little squat to toes here. Go up on your toes, mimicking the power motion, but we're not jumping. We're gonna put our hands down, we're gonna take the jump out, and we're gonna step back. And then if you wanna add the push-up, maybe push-ups are a strong suit, but just the burpee's not, you can do a push-up, go to your knees and do a push-up. Now you're gonna step back in and up, or maybe you just shouldn't jump for some reason. So you can take the jump out. Now, we can also do all of those things elevated from the chair, all right? So we can do a full burpee, jump, jump out, push up, jump in, jump up on the chair, or take the jump out, squat to toes, step it, push up, step back and up, or take the push up out. We're gonna step out, step in, and up. I'm almost certain almost everyone can do that right there, okay? If all else fails, I'm almost positive every single person can do this, unless you like have a broken elbow, okay? Then you're probably not gonna be doing the challenge anyway. Up and there. So again, don't take the easy way out every time, okay? I want you to choose a version that's challenging for you, but that you can do it for most of the reps, okay, or most of the time. So think about it that way. The last few reps anytime that we're lifting, whether it's a body weight exercise like these or actual weights, the last 3 or 4 reps should be a little bit of a struggle, okay? That's how you know that you have the appropriate weight. Okay, guys, hopefully this helps you as we move through this challenge. You know, have a good idea of how you're gonna modify. Think about it ahead of time. Try them out, practice it. Know what your limitations are, but also know where you want to be to challenge yourself. I'm not standing over you, so part of this is going to be you challenging yourself, okay?